Alright students, here we are in week 3 already. So here are your videos. This is your first of the videos for this week. And so let's get right into it. And move my picture over here out of the way. And let's see here. So what we got is week 3 is right here. And it was module 2.2, which means it's still having to do with the annotated bibliography. It's a little tricky because the annotated bibliography and source evaluation, those two things kind of go together, so that's why they're paired up here, and kind of you'll be working on both of them in the for this week and next week. The annotated bibliography is what you'll be working on first, and it is the primary assignment for you to get done by the end of week 3. So you have all of week 3 if you need it to get the annotated bib done. Don't feel like you have to rush it. Okay, because the annotated bibliography, you have the whole week to do it if you need to. But if you look at the overview here, you'll see that it's broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 and 2 here, as you can see, are the primary work, and that's finishing up the annotated bibliography. So you have everything you need to do from week 2 in order to do the annotated bib, the ABib. But work on that. That's the first thing you want to do, and get that done by Sunday night at the latest. Okay. Remember that the annotated bibliography now has to have 3 sources on it. The reason why it's got 3 sources instead of 2 the way it used to be is the way it used to be, you had to work on the annotated bib and keep it up throughout the whole semester, and it had to match what you did in your paper, in your report, weeks from now, a month from now. I no longer am having my students do that, so all you have to do, in other words, if you had been with me last semester, you would have had to have 5 sources or more, and you would have had to have them as part of your your big report. It would have had to be on your big report and everything. Now you only have to worry about it this first time, and then of course once you get it back from me, you'll want to revise it and make sure it's nice and neat and perfect. But once you're done with that, you're done with it. You can set it aside, save it in your materials for the final portfolio, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's a one and done assignment, just like the exercises, for example, are. But it's more important than the exercises. So you have to have 3 sources on them, and then you're also going to have the whole class activity, which is going to be something called BEAM, and I'll talk about that probably maybe a little bit in a different video, but that'll of course be done by this coming Sunday night. Now, if you should get this done quicker, if you should have this done say Wednesday or Thursday, then you can start right into the source evaluation, which is the next thing you're going to be doing. The source evaluation, or I call it the SE, is where you're going to take one source of your 3 that you put on your annotated bib. You'll choose one of those sources, and you will evaluate it. You're going to write a paper, short paper. It's actually technically considered an exercise, but it is a little bit, in my eyes, it's a little bit more than an exercise, just because I feel like it's an important thing for you to do. It used to be one of the required projects. But now, after COVID, they eliminated a couple of projects and changed them just into exercises to make them a little bit easier and less time consuming. So you still need to do a good job with it. You still need to have certain elements in it and everything, but it doesn't have to be 3 or 4 pages like it used to be. It can be a couple pages, page and a half, 2 pages, whatever it takes to do the job for you. So you want to watch whatever videos there are available besides this one. Of course, this won't be the only one. You're going to want to take a look at Easy Writer, pages 93 to 103. They talk about how to evaluate sources and how to take notes and stuff. You'll want to learn some about that. And then the source evaluation itself is going to be used to complete exercise 2, but it's not due until next week, at the end, Sunday of next week. So it's due at the end of week 4, not at the end of this week. So this way you get an extra time to work on it. If you get your ABib done sooner, then you might have a week and a half to work on the SE instead of only a week. So look at it as getting the annotated bib done first. Then if you have time left over, go right in and start with the source evaluation. Or wait until Monday to start it. That's up to you. If you wait until Monday, obviously you only have 1 week to do it. But, you know, I'm sure you can do it in that amount of time. Now that it's just an exercise, it's not quite as big a deal as it used to be. All right, so that is the first thing that you always should look at is that overview. Make sure you understand that overview. Now, the bib assignment with 3 sources, this is where you're going to actually submit your annotated bibliography. Remember, it should be submitted as a Word document or PDF so that it's easy for me to work with and give you feedback on. Okay? Just submit it, and I will evaluate it and give you comments on it. And then what you should do, if you haven't already read it, you should see the important note about major projects, which is in Module 1.1. That's the welcome module. If you haven't already seen it, go back and look at it to make sure you understand what that's about. But basically what it's about is whenever you're done with your paper and you submit it, you'll get it back from me with feedback on it. And what you want to do is you want to take that feedback and employ it, fix it, revise and edit your annotated bib, and then send it back to me again. If you do that, when you send it back to me, maybe it'll be a few more things you need to fix. Now I send it back to you. You fix those things, send it back to me a 3rd time. Eventually, usually most students get it done and get it right in the first try, a second or 3rd. But if it takes 4, whatever it takes, send it back until it's perfect. And what happens is, once you get a message back from me, comment back from me saying it's great, it's ready to go, something like that, then you'll know you've got an A annotated bib. It's done. You can forget about it. Set it aside and put it in your materials for the portfolio, and don't even worry about it anymore because you know you've aced it. That's why it's so important to do that, because that way you don't have to wonder whether or not you did a good job on it. You'll know you did a good job because of the feedback I end up giving you that tells you so, right? So it's crazy not to take advantage of this, but I'll tell you, you would be amazed how many students don't. So take advantage of that, okay? Now, getting into the second part, the source material, the source evaluation. I'm going to do that on a separate video because this one is getting 7 minutes now, so I don't want these to be extremely long. So that will do it for this video. Look out for number 2 for this week.